Alright, let me ask you straight up. Are you praying for a life of peace, abundance, and purpose, while secretly treating yourself like you're not even worth it? Here's the thing. Don't ask Allah for something you don't believe you deserve. It doesn't work like that. You can't be out here making dua for blessings and then turning around and doubting yourself, settling for crumbs, and questioning the opportunities He actually sent your way. Let me be clear. Allah created you intentionally. Do you agree? He chose you to exist in this exact moment. But the question is, do you believe in your value? Because if you don't, you're the one that's standing in your own way. Right now, we're cutting the fluff. We're talking about self-worth, why it's the foundation for manifesting your best life, and how to align your mindset with Allah's plans. No excuses, no shortcuts. It's time to step into the life Allah intended for you. Before we get further into the video, I'm Bia. Thank you so much for coming onto my channel. Welcome here. And again, thank you for clicking on this video. I really hope you find what you're looking for. Well, before you go ahead further into the video, I actually want you to leave your victim self behind, because that's not going to help you in the future. Self-worth isn't about how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. It's about knowing your value as a servant of Allah. It is rooted in understanding who you are to Allah, to your God. You are His creation, His servant, and someone He chose to exist in this world with intention. Think about this. Allah says in the Quran, and we have certainly honored the children of Adam in Surah Isra. Honored. Not ignored, not forgotten, honored. But here's the issue. Somewhere along the way, we start doubting this. We let society, past mistakes, or toxic relationships convince us we're not enough. We seek validation from people who don't even value us, who don't even know the real us, and we forget the value that Allah has already placed inside of us. When you understand your worth as someone Allah created with love and purpose, you stop settling for less. You stop begging for attention, approval, validation, or opportunities. You start walking with dignity, knowing that your value comes from Him, not from anyone else. When you don't value yourself, you're essentially telling Allah, I don't believe I'm worthy of what I'm asking for. And that mindset creates blocks. It creates barriers. Let's break it down. You start settling for less. You accept less than what aligns with your values and purpose. For example, you stay in a toxic relationship because you think this is probably the best that I can do. This is probably the best that I can get. Or you stick to a dead-end job because you're too afraid to aim higher, to jump ahead on the ladder. You're too afraid to start that business. That's not humility. That's not being modest. That's not being humble. That's a lack of belief in Allah's power to provide better. That's a lack of faith in Allah's will to give you more. Is that something you can resonate with? If yes, keep watching. You procrastinate, you hesitate, or give up entirely. Summary, you start self-sabotaging. You've been praying for a career breakthrough, but when an opportunity comes along, you talk yourself out of it. You say, I'm either not qualified or I might fail. Where's the faith in this? Where's the faith in this, sister? Where is it? This isn't trusting Allah. It's doubting yourself and by extension, His plan for you. Another thing that I see most people doing is fearing rejection. Because you fear rejection so much, you're too afraid to ask Allah for big things. And you start classifying things as big or small. Big manifestations, small manifestations. You think like there's a difference between those two. Just because something is big for you doesn't mean it's big for Allah. It's all the same to Him. It's all dependent on that kun, that be, that order of, thing coming into existence. That's all He needs to do. And yet you hesitate in making dua for financial stability or better health because you think, why would Allah bless me? But you know what, sis? That's guilt talking, not faith. Allah's mercy, blessings, gifts, these things don't have limits. But your belief system? Sure. Lots of limits. Lots of loopholes. The other thing that you do is that you doubt his plan. You second guess every challenge or every delay. For example, you're working on a business idea, but when things get hard, you start thinking, maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I'm not the entrepreneur that I think I was. Maybe I'm gonna fail. Instead of seeing challenges as part of Allah's wisdom, you give up. And then you stay in victim mode. You focus on excuses instead of solutions. You blame your upbringing, your circumstances, or bad luck for your lack of progress. But Allah has already equipped you with free will and tools to make a change. You're not stuck. You're just afraid to take responsibility. Low self-worth is like slamming the door of blessings on the blessing that you've been praying for. So it's time to open that door by recognizing your value and trusting Allah's unlimited generosity. You're clearly missing out on because of your very, very limited perception. So the mindset shift that you need is that manifestation isn't about forcing outcomes. It's not about making things happen that are impossible for it to happen. It's about aligning your actions with Allah's wisdom, His guidance, and then trusting His timings. A woman who knows her worth does not beg. She does not chase. She does not beg for that job, beg for that commitment, beg for that marriage, that proposal, that any opportunity. She doesn't beg for it. She doesn't chase it. She doesn't chase for friendships. She knows that what Allah has written for her will never miss her. She does her best. She prays for guidance. She asks her du'as, and then she leaves the rest to Him. She trusts Him. She's detached from the outcome because she knows that what is hers will come for her. She will invite it into her life instead of chasing or running after it. This is the most conventional example that you could find, but think about Hazrat Bibi Hajra, in the desert. She didn't sit and cry, she took action. But what kind of action? Did it make sense? Her running between the Safa and Marwa hills, did it make sense that water or food might come out of it? No, but she knew that Allah would do something. He would provide. He placed them in the desert, so she knew that He would provide. And then He did. He gave her Zamzam. And that blessing still benefits millions of Muslims and people today. That's the kind of energy and faith you need. Do your part, stay consistent, but then also leave the results to Allah. Stop doubting yourself. Stop thinking you don't have enough time. Stop thinking that you need to put in some kind of a huge investment into this to get results. No, all you gotta do is just put in your regular effort, be yourself, have faith, but then stop doubting Him. You really need to stop doubting Allah. Now that we've discussed some problems, let's really understand what you can do today to build your self-worth. There's a lot, and one video will not be enough, but we can do some short summaries. Reflect on who you are to Allah. Spend time with the Quran and Hadith. Remind yourself of how Allah sees you. He created you intentionally, loves you unconditionally, and wants what's best for you. You are His creation. You are Allah's creation. Internalize that for a minute. Think about it. Allah made you. He thought that this universe would have been incomplete without you, and He made you. Is that a small thing? It's a huge thing. So write down 3 things you're grateful for to Allah about, it could be anything. Your skills, your strength, your beauty, your effort, anything. Just practice gratitude. The second thing you need to do is stop settling for less. Look at your life. Where are you settling? Toxic friendships, relationships, low standards, bad habits. It's time to let them go. Choose one thing to release this week that doesn't align with your values. Replace it with something better. Do you think that just because you stop settling for a toxic friendship or relationship, that person might go away and that your manifestation will fail? Not really, because that person's meant to be in your life. They're gonna come back. But during the process, why go through the pain of settling for their toxic behavior? Set a boundary. Let them go. If they're meant to be yours, then they'll come back, but they will respect your boundaries this time. They will be more respectful. You will see them in a new light. But it doesn't mean that manifestation does not mean putting up with bad behavior, toxic treatment. Stop settling and let crappy people go. Strengthen your tawakkul, your faith. What does it mean? It means you ask for help. You ask for Allah's help with the most difficult part of this process, trusting Him. If it is difficult for you, ask Him for help. Oh God, give me what's best for me, make me strong enough to pursue it, and make me content with your plan. Make that thing easy for me. Make it a blessing for me. Then take one step towards the goal. Maybe it's something that you've been avoiding. Maybe you could plan a business. Maybe you could start by making a rough action plan. Maybe you could not text your avoidant SP. Maybe you could tell yourself that today I'm choosing myself. It could be anything. Just take a small step. You'll know what to do. You're just avoiding it because you're afraid that if you take that step, your manifestation will slip out of your hand. But that's not true. That's not going to happen. All you're doing is handing it to Allah. Handing this process over to Allah. That's the best that you can do. Here's your homework. Take 10 minutes today to journal. You need to ask yourself one very important thing. You need to ask yourself, where is it that you're doubting yourself or you're doubting your God? Where is it? Think about it. Maybe you're struggling with, setting boundaries, letting go of fear. Or maybe you need to start something that you've been putting off for so long, for fear, for whatever reason. Commit to it. Start doing that one thing. Take one step towards your du'as. Take one step towards your dreams and plans and goals. Maybe this push is all you need to start that business. To be honest with yourself, to set that boundary that you're afraid of setting because you're so afraid that people are going to leave you. No. The right crowd, your people, never leave you. They love you. If they love you, if they want to be around you, your boundaries will not push them away. If this message resonated with you, share it, like this video, subscribe if you want, if you're interested. I would love for you to be a part of this community. We're not here to play small. We're here to live the life Allah has intended for us. Intentionally. One rooted in faith, self-worth, and purpose. You are worthy. You are not broken. You are enough. And with Allah by your side, there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.